Hey everybody, welcome back to Techno Geek. Today we're going to take a look at the RVZ01B, and we're going to do it quick because it's hot and these lights aren't making it any better. Hey everybody, I wanted to give you a review of the RVZ01B from Silverstone. I picked up this case when I was sort of looking for a console killer type form factor, and this was at the time the smallest that I could find. So when you look at smaller cases today, like the Node 202, you're really going to see that they took a lot of their ideas from this case here, especially with the right-angled graphics card design, which we'll get to when I show you the back. But for right now, let's start at the front. We got a 5¼ inch slim loading slot drive. Moving down, I want to point out the front logo right here. It's the Raven logo for the branding that Silverstone was going with when they came out with this style of case. It does actually come off and rotate because it can actually sit in an upright position. I just chose to have it sitting flat because that was the best way for me. I had it sitting on a shelf, and that was really just what was best for me. So moving on from there, we got two USB 3.0s. We have a front panel audio in and a front panel audio out. I did that backwards. This is the headphone, this is your microphone. And then down here they have two pretty clicky, I'm not sure if that's being picked up or not, but some pretty clicky buttons. The reset button depresses just a bit further than the power button, but in my experience with this case, or maybe it was with the motherboard that I had, if I just pushed the power button down, that was the same as pushing the restart button. So not really sure if that's a thing. So if we move around to the side of the case, you'll see there's just nothing there but ventilation. And actually, behind this is some honeycomb. So you know it's getting some ventilation behind that as well. And on the other side, it's just more ventilation. And on the back again, it's more ventilation, which is perfect because this thing, if you build the right system, can get pretty hot. There's no reason why you can't fit a Titan X or a 980 Ti in this case at all. With that being said, let's go ahead and flip it around to the back so you can see what's going on back here and how they were able to achieve such a small design, such a small form factor for all of the hardware that you can actually put in here. Now, you can see this, it does have sort of a dual chamber separation where the graphics card is on one side and the rest of your components are all on this side. Kind of a bummer because even the power supply is right here with your motherboard, so if you're looking for some massive overclocking, temperature might be a problem for you, especially because you're limited to the size of the cooler that you can actually fit in here, which we'll get more into when I open it up. I left this off on purpose so it would draw attention to the eye. This does have space for a 2-slot graphics card. So like I said, there's no reason you couldn't put a Titan X in this case. So moving around to what I'm calling the bottom, but I guess depending on your preference, you could have it as the side. It comes with some really nice rubber feet, and it also has some rubber feet for if you're side mounting it. However, I have misplaced those because I wasn't using them. But it does come with some pretty nice rubber feet that are going to keep it from making any type of vibrations, and it'll also keep it up off the ground so you can get some airflow to both where your graphics card would be. Now this case came with two slimline 120mm fans. If you have a single slot card, you could definitely put some bigger fans in there to get a little bit more pressure going towards your graphics card and keeping that cool. You also have a space for the power supply to get plenty of fresh air from. And this case does come with three 120mm magnetic fan filters, which really come in handy because positive pressure is the best way to keep everything cool in this case, and also it keeps all of the intakes filtered and all of the exhausts unfiltered. Well, with the exception of your power supply, that's unfiltered. You have to buy an aftermarket filter or maybe sacrifice your top one if you're not using a fan there. It does definitely stick there if you wanted to try that out. depending on the size of the cooler is going to depend on the size of the fan you can use here. If you wanted to use a full size, I think it's 25 millimeter fan, well 25 millimeters thick fan, then you're going to have to probably stick with the stock cooler or something just as small. Anyway, let's go ahead and move straight to the insides from there. Just set this off to the side. As you can see, this case has been very used. I built a mock system in here. I'm actually gonna, if you can pretend that this iFixit is a 3.5 inch drive, this is where your 3.5 inch drive would go. It actually slides right into here. It has mounting points on the power supply bracket for a 3.5 inch drive. I took the 24 pin cable and I've routed it around the outside of the RAM, but as you can see, it's putting just a little bit of pressure on this bottom RAM stick, and it doesn't cause any issues when running the system, but it is, in my opinion, cause for concern. Now, as you can see, you're very limited on space, especially with this riser card here for your cooler. Now, there are some aftermarket coolers that you can get, but they don't keep it much cooler than a stock cooler. So in my opinion, stock cooling is the way to go in this case. It has a spot here for two 2.5 inch drives, and it kind of sucks in my opinion, because no matter what kind of drive you get, even if you get an SSD, the business end is going to be the end facing up rather than the end that you would want to see. I would like to see them replace this with maybe some type of toolless design. That way you can see the nice end with the labels. This is actually a WD blue, which the label doesn't look too bad on a WD blue. So if it was flipped around the other way, it would look just, in my opinion, a little bit more pleasing to the eye. But there's no side panel on this case, so I guess it doesn't really matter. That's just me nitpicking. So one other thing I want to get to about this case is that I used a modular power supply, and I really recommend a modular power supply with this case and not going with a non-modular power supply, because I had initially a non-modular power supply and I just had cables everywhere. The air had to have been stagnant because of all of the cables in the way. So I upgraded to this Silverstone SFX600G, which I just assumed had to have been made for this case. So before I wrap it all up, I want to go ahead and give you guys a look at how they're actually achieving the 90-degree graphics card mount, or PCI expansion. I guess you could put whatever you want to. But anyway, there you have it. It just mounts onto a riser card here that has one riser card plugging into another riser card, which plugs into your motherboard, and that's how it achieves its 90-degree rotation inside this case. Alright everybody, that just about wraps it up for the RVZ01B from Silverstone. I think it's a great case. It's perfect for anybody who needs a computer for an HTPC or maybe a stream box like I plan on doing. Or maybe this could even be your LAN rig, because like I said, there's no reason you can't fit a 980 Ti. You could really trick this thing out and just really impress all your friends when you take this from party to party. Alright, so I think I've rambled on long enough. I'm starting to get a little sweaty, so we're going to go ahead and call this one quits. I appreciate everybody for coming back, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, so before we get out of here, I want to give you guys a look at this. Wow. I just popped the end right off of that SATA